Alright guys, TacticalRab here and today I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. The Esports World Cup is officially here in a couple of days time. The teams are pretty much all arriving today for the tournament. Big talking point as well today in terms of what the groups are looking like, what the first round games of the tournament are looking like as well, and just various other predictions as to how this tournament is going to turn out. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I greatly appreciate it. Great bit of content in that Thieves did right, because if you guys aren't aware, there are guidelines for this tournament on how the players are meant to behave, meant to be professional, upholds competitive integrity, this type of stuff. And, well, Thieves did a bit of content about it because certainly the likes of Kreb has not necessarily done the best job with that over the last couple of tournaments. And, you know, here he was giving his best attempt to not throw up the birds, but look, he couldn't help himself. So anyway, they did a pretty good bit of content about this, the Thieves boys, of course, and they are now, I imagine, pretty much here in Riyadh. I arrived yesterday, fellow 14-hour flight time. Honestly, from the UK, it weren't too bad, like 6-hour flight, something like that. Pretty reasonable, 2 hours ahead. For the players, it obviously has been an absolute, well, for the guys from the States, a bit of a trek. As Clay says, and he was having a bit of a rough time on his flights, he says here in this tweet, but he was on like a 14-hour direct flight, 16-hour direct flight, something like that. He was getting the red wines in so he could actually sleep on it. And I think that might have been the play for some of the players, or obviously Clay isn't coming as a player. We'll see that in a second. And here's Pred in his, business class suite, right? I'm pretty sure is what this looks like. Not exactly sure what airline he's flying here, but I like he's got, the OpTic stuff on, and he's got the Quran in his hand as well, of course, because, AG is Muslim, and, coming out here to Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure those guys are arriving today. It's just kind of crazy how long the flight times are, because I think from Dallas, it's something like 20 hours to get here. But we talked about it yesterday, the OpTic, business class, first class versus economy situation, and I'm sure the players will feel like it's worth it when they eventually get here. And, they are, I'm pretty sure a lot of them arriving today. Some of us arrived yesterday. I think some of the players probably arrived yesterday as well. And then tomorrow's going to be like probably the media type day. And then Thursday, of course, is the first day of matches. And we'll see how that's going in a couple of seconds. This is, as I'm recording this video, Trey Cartier's up here on the 34th floor of this hotel we're staying at. In the pool probably, so yeah, I'm gonna get up there ASAP. I'm looking forward to it. But yes, we will be running some sort of show this weekend. I'm still got to figure out a couple of the details today, exactly how it's gonna go, because the OpTic boys are gonna be watch partying it, but not here in person. I think they're gonna be doing it from the Hex quarters, so they're gonna have to be up probably quite early, to be honest. It's maybe not, well, I guess it's 8 hours behind, isn't it, when it starts over here, which is probably gonna be about maybe 7, 8 a.m. for them, something like that. Maybe on some days it's gonna be even earlier, so that could be a bit of a tricky one, but I'm sure they'll make it work. And then Zuma, I think, was at a wedding, or is at a wedding this upcoming weekend, so he can't attend in person. So I think we've got Ben is here, a couple of the other flank guys are here, and then we've got me, Trey, and Ace basically, who are gonna help with the show over the course of the weekend. So that's the plan anyway for the in-person watch party stuff. And this is the talent announcement. So we kind of knew this for a bit of time, but I thought it was interesting anyway. A couple of people, I'm guessing Barney Bankser and Ian Chambers have been doing like a number of these different Esports World Cup events, because I'm not so familiar with them, but I guess that makes more sense. And then we've got Puckett, Ali, Nameless, and Clay. So the classic basically set up as they had at the World Championship. Cool to see that they brought Clay along as well, because they could have just brought the trio, right? Puckett, Ali, and Nameless, who have done it the whole year. But Clay is great on the analyst desk. He was great at the World Championship, and maybe that's going to be his new gig, right? I know that he wants to return next season, and if he gets an offer to play, I think that he will. I mean, it's Black Ops 6. For the same reason that Formal is even considering coming back. Like, Clay isn't going to want to step away if he doesn't absolutely have to. But if he doesn't, then I think a spot on the analyst desk will be there for him more than likely. And I think that's probably shown by the fact that they're bringing him to this event. Notable absentees, though, of course, being Merc and Maven, right? So Shift and Study are here. Shift, I think, has been doing casting for a lot of things. Study's coming as well. Chance and Miles, who are, nowadays, they are the premier casting duo. Merc and Maven were for some time, but now it's Miles and Chance that cast all the finals in the CDL. And, I know people were talking about it. Just because Merc and Maven, there was all the talk over the last few years with the league as to, can the league afford them? Or basically they don't have enough budget to spend what Merc and Maven wanted to have, so therefore they only brought them in for the majors. They don't cast the online matches and stuff like this. And, that then changed, I think, again this season. But people were joking that, even Saudi Arabia, the guys that are putting on this tournament, they can't afford to bring Merc and Maven in to cast it. But instead, they are bringing in a couple of, remote talent. So Seymour and Infinity are going to be casting stuff remotely which I think is pretty cool. And then also Bryson Tunn. So the return of Bryson Tunn, but they're going to be working remotely rather than actually here in person. So cool to see Bryson Tunn back, Infinity and Seymour as well. Great Challengers casters. And there are Challengers players and teams at this event, which is the first time in a while that we're really seeing this. I mean, we had the Pro-Am in the CDL, last year? Actually, I don't know if they even did one last year. Definitely 2022 in Vanguard we had a Pro-Am, but apart from that, it's been very rarely seen that we have amateur teams and, pro teams at the same tournament. How much damage, if any, those amateur teams can do, we'll see. I mean, Law Gaming probably should be the best. They won Challengers Champs. That's Arcity's team. But they're in a pretty tough group, and we'll see that, of course, in a second. Just to quickly break down, if you guys aren't aware what the Esports World Cup is, I'm sure you've seen some sort of, something discussion around this over the other esports over the last 6 weeks. I mean, this is the 7th week that it's been going on now, and this week is StarCraft, EAFC, which is formerly known as FIFA, and then Modern Warfare 3 at the Amazon Arena. So the plan is it's a 4-day event, as are most Call of Duty events nowadays, but this is different to normal because usually the group stages of the tournament are effectively done online over the preceding several weeks, right? And this is the the reason why we do all these online qualifiers is because it's effectively the group stage, but you run it over 5 weeks and then you turn up to the tournament with a bracket already decided. This tournament though is more traditional in the sense that you do 2 days of group stage, then the quarters, then the bracket is set after 2 days, then you do the quarters, the semis and the final over the remaining 2 days, which is pretty similar to how it was back in the old school MLG sub CWL days. But even back then, they would do it over 3 days, not 4. And it would be double elim, not single elim, which is what this tournament is going to be. But to make it happen over 3 days, you've got to run an Alpha Charlie Bravo Delta stream most of the time. This tournament, there's going to be 2 streams simultaneous for the first couple of days, then that goes away. So yeah, 2 days of groups. It's a GSL style group, which basically means win 2 before you lose 2. And we'll see what that means for the schedule here in a second. And then it goes quarters, so 4 matches on the Saturday, and then 3 matches on the Sunday, 2 semis, and then the best of 7, I think, grand finals it's going to be. So it's 3 p.m. local time here, which is 1 p.m. in the UK, which, yeah, I guess is pretty early over in the States. Start time for the matches then a little bit later for the last couple of days. This is the prize pool. Here are the participating teams. And, pretty cool, Azuma says, to see the Stallions logo up there because it's not FaZe Clan Black as ideally, well, it would be. They obviously were the team at Challengers Champs, but there's also another FaZe team here. So they didn't want that. So I guess they were like, look, guys, you got to rebrand to something, so the Stallions is what they're going to be. And we have the 11 pro teams because Los Angeles Grillers aren't coming along. Obviously Falcons came in there instead, and then the 4 challenger teams as well. So if you guys want to just look at the rosters, we'll see that in just a couple of seconds, because let's have a look at what the schedule looks like. So this is what's been determined so far. It's going to be, this is UK time, so British summertime as it is right now. So 3 p.m. local time, 1 p.m. in the UK, and then 5 hours further back than that is East Coast time. So that's 8 a.m. East Coast, 7 a.m. Dallas time, where I guess the OpTic boys are going to be, and then 5 a.m. if you guys are on the West Coast. So yeah, if you guys want to watch OpTic versus Omid and you're living in California or something, you've got to be up at 5 in the morning. Now, as I say, the games on the Saturday and Sunday will start at 5 local time here, which is 10 hours further ahead than like the West Coast of the US. So it's still going to be early. It's going to be about 7 a.m., but it's going to be a little bit more doable. And to be fair, it's a time zone that does kind of work. Like, okay, you've got to get up early if you're in the US. But for most people, it does kind of work. And I think it's going to be nice for people in Europe, finally, not to have to, stay up to 3, 4 in the morning to watch some of the later series of the day. But anyway, this is the schedule. OpTic versus Omid, and we'll see what that team is in a second. Vegas Ravens, so that's the other Group A game. Then Cloud9 playing Gentle Mates. I guess they're going as Gentle Mates Alpine, which is very interesting that they've got that kind of sponsorship, title sponsorship relationship. But Gentle Mates Guitarga's organisation, and they have Bantz's team effectively from the recent event. Cloud9 is New York Subliners, if you guys aren't aware of that, but you probably are, because we've talked about it a lot over the last couple of weeks. Then Seattle versus G2. G2 is, of course, Minnesota Rocker. Toronto versus Stallions is the first game in Group C. Heretics versus Boston, the other game. So this is Miami Heretics, but they're representing Team Heretics here. So it's kind of a fascinating tournament in many ways. And then Group D. This is the Law Gaming group, right? It's the group that, well, this is the most promising Challengers team. They just won the Challengers World Championship. The difficult thing is they've got FaZe and 100T in that group. Of course, that's Los Angeles Thieves. And then Team Falcons. Interesting, by the way, that it's coming up on the app here. So this was some screenshots from the Esports World Cup app as FaZe Clan, whereas still on the website they're Atlanta FaZe. It does make more sense for them to represent FaZe Clan, in my opinion. And it seems like that's what's going to happen, possibly. And who knows how Team Falcons are going to do as well. Of course, they're the Saudi Arabian team. Then it goes to the lower side of the group. So basically, if you look at this right here, we see all these first round games that we've just mentioned, and then this game is the lower side. So the loser of Omit versus OpTic, and then the loser of Vegas versus Ravens will play here, and then the winner will play at the same time here. So this is on kind of West Coast time. You guys can see 5 a.m. start here for Vegas versus Ravens. But if you guys are on the West Coast and you're not going to get up for 5 a.m. to see OpTic versus Omit, for example, you could just get up for this series at 11, where this is the winner's series. So assuming that OpTic beat Omit, Brooklyn, which they should, then this is effectively the group decider for who comes out as the first seed, which I guess is kind of nice for the first seed because then they don't have to play again, right? If you go as the number 1 seed, you get through on the Thursday, you don't even have to play Friday, and then you get a day off rest basically going into the Saturday where the bracket is going to begin. So anyway, that's the way the tournament goes. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comment section below, because it's interesting to see that it is effectively, as we might have expected, number 1 seed versus the weakest seed in the group, which is largely going to be the challenger teams. The Omit Brooklyn team, by the way, is as follows: Spart, Prolute, Fire, and Glowfrosty. That's their team of 4. If you guys, you guys know the CDL roster. I'll just quickly look through the other ones if you guys aren't familiar with the teams that basically the challenger teams have. This is King of Body and the boys. Gentlemate is the Harry, Bounce, Cobra, and Dinder team with Marky B coming to coach them. Stallions, of course, is Exceed and Co, the FaZe Black team with Rexa, Seam, and Brack. And I think that pretty much sums it up, apart from Law Gaming that I was mentioning, which is Yuli, Paul XR, Season 2 ReeaL, with Atura as the coach as well. So that is the setup for the tournament over the next couple of days. And people have been saying, what are the predictions for this tournament? I guess what I wonder is how much it's going to play into what's going to happen in Rostermania, right? Like, how impactful is this going to be? It's not, from a legacy perspective, it's not going to go down to be as important as the World Championship or in that kind of category. Maybe you equate it more to like a major victory than the World Championship ring itself, because it's obviously an important tournament. It is single elimination, but there's $2 million on the line, which is a lot more than there is in a regular season major. So intrigued to your thoughts in the comments, right? Obviously, OpTic are going to be the favourites here. It's interesting to see if Ronnie's prediction of Dashy MVP becomes true, because there has been like this feeling about maybe Dashy's going to like go next level now that he's finally got the pressure off of having won the ring. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
NSC, dude, wow. I don't even know where that's on the map, dude. I'm not even trolling. They're probably like right here. What? Tennessee's dog shit anyways. Montana, oh yeah, Montana, yeah. What? Hey, I was close.
What?
Yo, top left type
Hawaii.
shit. Oh yeah, this is free. Fuck. It's one of these, dude. Pretty sure. Holy fuck.
Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana?
Delaware.
Wait, hold on, quick. Damn! Is that even a state? What the fuck?
Connecticut.
Connecticut. Bro, Connecticut's over there? I didn't even know that was a fucking state in New Jersey. Hold up, I should not get this one wrong. This one. No, probably this one. What?
Texas.
Oh, yeah, if I get that one wrong, then I should actually leave. Wait, Oklahoma is literally above
North
us.
Carolina. California. New Hampshire.
What? This is a state? This is no way. This is a state.